So, what, day 2? Day 3?
Day 3.
Day 3. 6 a.m.? 6:30. We're late risers. Third day of the hunt. Hadn't heard a bugle. Hadn't cut any fresh tracks. Nothing.
No poop.
Morale? Those are mushrooms. Morale at an all-time low, I would say. We were pretty down in the old dumps.
Yep.
Walk out to the landing. Well, I guess we weren't on the landing. We're just walking the road above the unit there.
Yeah, we heard some cracking.
Heard a little crackling. Decided to take a lissy poo. And bam, first bugle of the season. And I think Chris thought that I was screwing with him.
I did.
And
I had to turn around to make sure your phone wasn't playing or something.
Yeah. Had to ask me if I was the one making the great bugly moogly, which I was not. And I was also looking at Chris, waving at him to pass me the bugle tube. So we rip a bugle back at this guy. I wouldn't say rip. Just
a little squeak.
Just a little squire of a bugle. And boom, bull across. It sounded like he just ran 600 yards and then
quite
bugled.
A bit further.
So, different bull, 2 bulls. He bugles. So we're like, man, what do we do? Wind sucks, sorta. It's all fogged in the unit, so we can't see anything down in this country that we wanted to go glass at first light. And anyways, so we dive off in the timber, the beautiful Western Oregon timber. So we're just rolling along through the neck-high ferns. For me, it's like belly button high for Chris.
Yeah, waistband.
Waistband height ferns. And chugging along through there, and hit this little cat road. Try to get around the corner, trying to keep the wind right, which we did succeed at. It was kind of swirly, but mostly steady. We didn't really have a good idea where the elk were after the bull bugled at us the first time. He decided that he really didn't care that we were there, and that he was just going to shut up now.
Right.
So then, we walk along the skid road, cat road, and we're kind of at a loss here. We're like, well, the fog still hasn't burned off. The wind's good. Might as well kind of just stop and chill where we're at.
No more bugles.
No more bugles, no cow talk, no sticks popping.
Nothing.
Couldn't glass. We're kind of just figuring that the hunker down tactic is going to be the way to play it. So
we had a feeling they were moving up in the canyon there.
Sure. Yeah.
So we wanted to get set up just in case they crossed the path.
So we're standing in the middle of the road like a couple of idiots. I'm like, hey man, maybe we should tuck in behind these logs just in case this works out some crazy way. So we slide in behind some decked logs. For those of you that aren't from logging country, it's just a big pile of full-length logs.
From when they cut in the right-of-way.
Yeah.
They haven't actually logged this unit yet. They just cut the right-of-way and, yeah, basically plowed in a road and decked those logs to the side, and that's what we were hiding behind.
Yeah. So we're in a little turnout on it's just a dusty dirt cat road.
Similar to a foxhole.
Yeah, I would say. There, yeah, it was basically a ditch with logs in it.
Yeah.
So we jump in this log ditch.
I would use it for cover in a firefight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shot at, die behind that thing.
Yeah, you'd be pretty solid.
Yeah.
There's only very small gaps.
Some cracks there, but
a bullet to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently not a big enough crack to shoot an arrow through.
No.
So we dive into the foxhole, we'll call it. Or what do you guys call them?
The foxhole, yeah.
Is that a foxhole?
It would be.
What's a ranger grave?
Ranger grave is basically 1 foot to 2 foot deep that you can lay in. Use it for sleeping in.
Oh.
It gets you down below the
okay.
ground level.
I thought it was for firefighting.
Nope, just for sleeping in.
Okay.
Nope, foxholes for fighting in. Those are typically, chest high.
Okay, yeah. Then we were for sure in a foxhole.
We were in a foxhole.
Like a pretty dandy foxhole.
Legitimate foxhole. Accidental foxhole.
Yeah, it was a happens chance foxhole.
Yep.
So we are sitting in there, and we're bullshitting at normal volume, waiting for the fog to clear.
We weren't super quiet.
No, assuming that the elk were Probably
not near us.
Yeah, probably 500 yards away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we still thought they were way down there.
yeah, wind was in our favor, so we're like, yeah, let's chill here. And actually, we were just talking about how Mountain House turns me into a terrible human. My guts can't tolerate Mountain House for many days in a row. And I was like, man, really need to get into making some recipes, making our own meals. So I was just about to pull up this website because we're spoiled, and I have 4G service here. Kill some time. So I'm going to look up this website. I forget what it's called. They got a bunch of homemade, freeze-dried, and dehydrated meals on there. So I'm about to talk to Chris about this, and boom, stick pops. So Chris, it's also Chris's first year hunting elk.
Yes, sir.
Chris pops up out of our foxhole,
Throw some glass up.
throws the glass up, and tells me he sees a deer walking along the road.
Yep.
I'm like, cool, man, is it a buck? Because Chris had put a stock on 2 bucks the night before. We're trying to get him his first bow kill. So Chris had put a stock on some bucks the night before. It didn't work out. Wind was bad.
Unsuccessful.
Very, very unsuccessful, but a good effort. So I'm like, cool, is it a deer? Can you shoot it? Is it a buck? He's like, well, it looks like a buck. It's got a big old head. Oh, wait. No, that's a cow. I'm like, well, that's good. It's got to have more elk with it.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure it was a calf.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, it was a calf. So
Similar sized.
sure. Yeah. Similar size to a buck deer, right? I mean, like a big buck deer.
Yeah, I don't
So
know. It was through a bunch of brush. That's what I'm going with.
yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
So he says, got a blocky head like a buck. I think it might be, but I don't see any antlers. Oh, nope, definitely a cow. So now we're doing good. We got elk coming to us by some stroke of...
Magical luck.
Yeah. Just like we found the magical foxhole, we now had, somehow found our way into, I don't know. I don't even have a word for it. So the elk, then a cow pops up, and we're like, oh, that makes sense, cow-calf pair. Where are the rest of the elk? Well, then a third one comes in behind it, and it's a spike. The unit we're hunting in is actually an any elk unit. And if that cow hadn't had a calf, and she walked by, perhaps we would have filled the tag on a cow.
So
Neither of us have really decided.
to paint the picture a little bit better, this log deck, it's right on the edge of the road. So directly to our front.
Oh, wait, we do have to clarify. It's not technically a road.
True.
It's not a road.
It's like a dirt spur.
So you can shoot from it.
Correct.
Because in Oregon, it's illegal to shoot across or from a road. You have to be across the ditch line
Right.
to shoot at something on the same side that you're off the road on, if that
Right.
makes sense. So,
Yeah.
just want to clarify. So we know, we're not breaking
Yep.
any laws.
It's all dirt.
Okay,
It's all dirt.
continue.
So
Paint the picture.
directly to our front on the other side of the log deck starts into some timber. Pretty thick, nasty stuff. Drops down into this little drainage through there and then straight back up the other side. And to our right, it's nothing but this dirt spur that funnels out back to the main line. And they were, at the time, that calf was at the top on the tree line, opposite side of the timber from us. So I could only see the calf through the timber. And then eventually we noticed the cows were starting to work their way down the hill into the timber. They were feeding into the timber there. And and then we saw the 4-point,
No, we saw a spike.
the spike first.
Spike bull
Yeah.
pops out behind the cow, and so we both look at each other. We're like, "Yeah, there's a spike. That's good."
Right.
We would obviously rather shoot a bull in the name of conservation or however
Sure.
the science works. We'd rather shoot a bull, obviously,
Absolutely.
and just the simple fact of rather shoot a bull when you think elk hunting. So the spike comes out behind the cows, and it's probably 30 seconds later. This pretty 4-point branch antlered bull comes out behind the spike, and now they're, I would say, at that point I think they were 88 yards. I ranged them.
So we're getting pretty excited at
Yeah,
this point.
we're thinking they're just gonna bebop down this dirt spur, which would have given us maybe a 10-yard shot.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
The bank wasn't even that, I don't think.
I think the
on
bank
other
was
side.
bank was like 16.
Was it?
So
Yeah.
we would have had maybe a 10 to
It was
10,
super close.
somewhere between 6 and 15 yards.
Yeah.
Would have been the shot. Probably 10 to 12. So we're getting excited. I'm set up on the would-be shooter side. And here comes the spike drops down the hill. The 4-point drops down the hill behind him. And then that 4-point turns around and starts running that spike off. Pushes him around with his antlers. And he's acting like he's a little fired up. So I'm a dummy, and I didn't get my camera out because I had, bow in one hand, release in the other, ready to rock and roll. So
I was trying to film it through the crack of the logs
through the crack
my cell phone.
with his cell phone.
Yeah.
So we're watching these elk, and we're both just, it's everything that an elk hunt's supposed to be. I mean, minus a little bugling.
It was awesome.
And the 4-point gets down. I told Chris, I'm like, if he comes inside 70 yards, I'm gonna shoot him. I shoot, I don't know, probably 50 arrows every day.
Yeah.
I practice a lot at long distances. I'm comfortable shooting 70 yards. There was no wind. Would have been a perfect 70-yard opportunity broadside in the road. He stops at 64 yards on the dirt spur. And
by himself.
Yeah.
That spike hung up top.
yeah, by himself. No elk behind him, no elk around him. If it was a miss, it wasn't going to hit anything else. It was going to be a great opportunity. I told Chris, hey, I'm going to get ready to shoot him. He's 64 yards. So just as I'm getting ready to lean out from behind the log deck and draw my bow, Chris puffs a little dust out of his wind checker, and sure as shit, the wind swirled,
Yeah.
and that bull turned from perfectly broadside. He was facing with his ass to the left and his head to the right. And he turned from perfectly broadside to just zoned in on the
Locked in
log
on
deck.
us. Yep.
Not sure that we were behind it. Couldn't see us, but didn't know what the hell was going on. So he acted like he was going to freak out, and that spike came down behind him, and he had backed off a little bit. And it was the right temperature that you could see your breath. And he blew at that spike, like snorted at him.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And it was pretty awesome. Ran that spike off. So the cow and the calf pair dove in to that drainage Chris was talking about. And about that time, Chris looks at me and goes, holy shit, dude. There's a big bull. Big bull.
Yeah, so once that 4-point started making his way back up towards where that spike hung up at, and at that time, I kind of stood up behind the log deck to get eyes on the cows that were working their way down through that unit, or in through the timber there.
Yeah.
And when I stood up, it was pretty thick. Pretty thick stuff.
Really thick.
I stood up and I was watching two cows, and right behind the two cows, I just saw forked antler tips.
Just whale tails.
Yeah, just going right through the timber there, and I'm like, oh man, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
I think the words were, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So big bull now.
Big bull.
But, what everyone gives us an opportunity is
Right.
what we're going to take a shot at.
Obviously it wasn't a big deal to us at the time. We were just
Yeah.
super excited to be in
excited that we were,
situation.
we're going to have perhaps an opportunity after 3 days of seeing not a elk dropping fresher than, I don't know, 5 days old.
Yeah.
So the cow and the calf start feeding through this drainage just on the other side. We can hear them crashing through the bottom, and well, I guess I told you the spike and the 4-point were looking back like there was another bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's when you saw that 6-point.
Right.
Or we're assuming a 6-point. He had big well tails.
Yeah,
he was either
if
a
he
big
wasn't
5.
A 6, yeah, he had to have been a big 5.
Big
It was-
5.
It was a big bull.
So, not that I want to pay that store any royalties, so we'll say a large 5.
Yeah.
And so the cow and the calf feed through the drainage. Sorry, we're being kind of repetitive here. And the spike and 4-point are soon to follow. They kind of work their way back up and drop in following the cow-calf.
Right.
So I told Chris at one point, I think he had kind of lost sight of the 4-point. He was kind of right up that cow's ass, pushing her along, kind of squealing at her.
Yeah, I was trying to keep eyes on that big bull for as long as I could, and then I lost him in the timber and tried to pick up that spike and that 4-point and figure out where they were at. And I think it was right about then you said you thought you had a shot on that 4-point.
No, I bugled at him. And then
that's right.
Yeah, I gave him just a little,
Yep.
just a little bugle. And he stops for just long enough. I told Chris, if I can get a range, I get a shot.
Right.
He was in brush, but I had a perfect vital shot. And he didn't stay put for longer than...
I couldn't even get to my rangefinder fast enough.
Yeah, he didn't stay put for longer than, 5 seconds or so. So he pushes those cows up and along, and the spike's soon to follow. The big bull went around a different way. We never even saw him.
Yeah, that was the only sight I seen of him. It was moving through that timber, and at that time he was gone.
Sure. And so anyways, I'm like, hey, let's give her hell. So they run up the hill. I cow call, two times?
Yeah. Yeah,
and that spike rips right back down the hill, comes in and stops and is staring, now sees Chris, and is staring at him at 52 yards.
Yep.
So I had moved up at this point to a pretty large tree on the edge of by the end of the decked logs there. And this was an actual standing, alive tree that I'm kneeling behind. I keep looking over at Chris to see what's going on. He told me, I think I can shoot this bull. And I go, well, shoot the bull. And so he starts getting his stuff ready, and then he looks at me, and he's kind of shaking his head, and he goes, I don't know, man. Do you have a shot? I said, yeah, I think I can kill him right now if you don't have a good shot. So he says, well, then go for it. So I step out real slow, range this bull. I've got a good view all the way back, I would say, from his hip to his shoulder. I can't see much else. I could see the brown of his neck. So I verified with Chris because he had a full view. I said, hey, his head's to the right?
Yeah, I watched him come back down after you cow called. I watched him come back down the hill, and he was nosed back up the hill like he was going to go back up where they came from.
So he was just ever so slightly quartered away from me, 52 yards.
Yep.
And I drew, anchored in good, settled that pin down. It was just floating, probably, 4 ribs back or so. I know that my miss, if I do miss a shot, is a few inches right at 50 yards. And with the angle that he was standing at, I aimed kind of, like the third to last rib, that area. And I pulled through this shot perfect. I mean, everything felt money. I'm shooting a hinge right now for hunting, a hinge release. And I pulled through this shot perfect. Everything was great. And I look over at Chris and I'm like, what the hell, man? And I, shoot and then hear a whack. Bull turns and runs up the hill. We cow call at him. And then all the thrashing stops. So we're thinking, but I turned to Chris and I'm like, man, I think I made a bad shot. I think I hit him back. Because the last thing I remember seeing was my fletchings kick out to the left.
Yeah. Yeah, when I looked over at you, I just saw nothing but heartache.
Yeah, I'm like,
out of your face. It was just,
shit, I made a bad shot. I don't know how that happened. So we give it, enough time. And we're not going to bust this herd if we go across here to look for the arrow. So I'm like, man, it would really make me feel better if we went and looked at that arrow and saw what we had. So we go across the drainage there.
We gave it some time.
Yeah, we gave it 30 minutes or so.
About
40
30 minutes, yeah.
We go across. I'm like, man, I don't see my arrow. This is right where he was standing. And I know, I mean, assuming I hit where I was aiming, I'm going to get a pass through, 9 times out of 10, or there'll be a piece of arrow there. Or blood, anything.
Right.
And we have nothing. I'm like, man, I don't know.
So at this point, we're thinking either he's carrying the arrow with him.
Yeah.
Or it's not where it should have been.
Right. And
so I moved up, 5 feet up from where he was
5 feet from where his vitals were?
Way higher.
Yeah.
And managed to spot your nice pink fletchings.
Yeah, the pink wrap,
buried
the pink
into the dirt there, and I pulled it out, and it was pristine, nice and clear, nice and clean.
Completely clean.
Nothing on it at all.
So reviewing footage, listening, because Chris actually was quick enough to pull his phone out and film me shooting, and reviewing footage, our only assumption is that it deflected off of something. I had a good open shot, but it was really dark timber on the other side. That tan elk stood out, like a sore thumb, but it hit something along the way and just sent that arrow way off course. So good news is completely clean miss, not a hair, not a, I don't think it got within maybe a foot of him.
No, it was way high.
Way high, way left. So something weird happened.
And we've been practicing every day we've been out here.
Every morning and every evening we'll shoot an arrow.
We came back after that and you shot the exact same shot.
I shot
within
50,
an inch.
50. The shot my rangefinder said was 51.8 yards, and I shot at 51.5 yards back at camp, and was absolutely money. And Chris said he watched me shoot, and the shot process looked good. I pulled through, everything broke clean, and it was just a fluke, So
just one of those things. It was nice and thick in there, and
yeah,
I think you just got a limb you
nicked
couldn't
something.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. So good news is it didn't nick a limb and
Yeah.
hit him in the guts or hit him in the hip or.
We talked about that.
Yeah,
that was the best case scenario in that situation.
Second best.
Second
case.
best, right?
First best case was it hit him in the vitals and we had a dead bull.
Right.
So that's where we're at with this hunt. We're now on tomorrow's day 4?
Something like that, yeah.
We're counting Friday as a day.
Yeah.
Half
afternoon,
day.
Yeah.
So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we're 3.5 days in now.
Right.
We got on some elk today.
Yep.
So this is our podcast from elk camp.
Yeah.
We're sitting here, cracked open a couple of man cans of Keystone Light.
Yes, sir.
Got to keep up on the dehydration.
Yeah.
And figured we'd put a little podcast together. It was a pretty awesome story.
Feeling good though.
Feeling really good.
Day 4.
Yeah.
Going in.
Yeah.
Haven't been sore. We've been logging some pretty good miles.
Yeah.
What's our average? 7?
I think
7.5?
7 or 8.
Yeah.
So
we've been putting in the work.
Yeah. And, keep doing the right things over and over and it'll pay off. So, now that story time's over, the other voice you hear is Chris Almendinger.
Hello.
If you don't know how to spell that, it's fine because
It's just how it sounds.
I don't really think
Super simple. 2 L's.
he knows how to spell it. 2 L's, 1 E,
common mistake
1 M,
there.
1 A, an R in there somewhere, another E, and a G.
Sure.
It's I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I was like, man, this must have been a rough life through grade school.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and my first name's Christopher, so my parents didn't do me any favors with.
Yeah,
I pretty much just learned the alphabet with my name.
Yeah, you had a lot of letters to write.
Yeah.
So Chris, introduction time.
Yep. I'm Chris. Yeah, as we established.
Yes.
My first year bow hunting. Not my first year hunting. Back in high school, I did the road hunting thing for a little while. Never found success, and then last year I got with a buddy of mine that's been pretty successful. And
Rifle hunting. Right?
Rifle hunting.
Yeah.
Correct. So we did some more road hunting last year, and I managed to harvest my first deer. It's a little fork and horn, and really cool experience. But it was still road hunting, and it just wasn't attracting to me at all. And I've always wondered what it is that makes everybody so attracted to hunting, when to me hunting was just something you do and drive on the roads until you find something to shoot at, and get out and hike in a little bit and shoot it, and get it out and drag it back to the pickup. And
yeah,
so I'm like, well, what do these guys do for the rest of the year? And then I found bow hunting.
Did you find it through like social media stuff? What was the initial draw to bow hunting?
I don't know if I could put my exact finger on what specifically it was, but I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan, and I believe it's one of Joe Rogan's podcasts with Cam Hanes, and I just heard him telling a story about it, and I'm like, man, that'd be pretty cool. So I started looking into it a little bit, and I'd shot a bow back in the day. Didn't know what I was doing. It was an old Bear, probably 40-inch axle to axle. It was some giant, and I always thought it was fun, just plinking arrows and shooting at hay bales and stuff. And so I figured, what, I'm just going to go out and get a bow and see if I like it. And I went out and bought a bow and started diving in a little bit deeper, and figured that this was going to be something I wanted to try. And so I set a goal, that I was going to come out here, and if I was going to do it, I was going to do it right. I was going to take a full week off of work and spend it out in the woods and hit it hard. And so that's what we're out here doing right now. So that was, I made up my mind in late January of this year, and that's about when I got my bow. Got my bow and started putting in the work. So yeah, that's it, man. That's how it started.
Yeah.
Now we're
So,
here.
along with the background, military background as well.
Yep.
So, what'd you do there?
6 years in the National Guard, 2 deployments, one to Iraq in 2010, 2011, one to Afghanistan, 2014, 2015. Infantry was my MOS, 11 Bravo. So yeah, 6 years, 2 deployments.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yeah.
So now hunting has taken over, and you got the wife a bow.
I did. Yeah, I got her a bow. Probably like 2 weeks after I bought mine.
Yeah.
She decided she wanted one, so we went in and got her one. Got her shooting.
Yeah.
And,
She shoots better than we do.
yeah.
Both
Definitely.
Chantel, my girlfriend, which you guys have heard me mention before, and Krista, your wife, both are ringers,
Yeah. They're
and it's
they're
pretty
great shots.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
A lot better than either of us shoot.
Yeah.
It's rather interesting. Perhaps it's because they listen to advice and we're too
Stubborn.
stubborn is the
Stubborn.
word.
It's a word for sure.
So, we're kind of blind leading blind on this podcast here. I got no real direction that we want to take it. You know, just kind of dive into a pile of different things. You know, I got a lot of questions for Chris simply because I've been moderately successful with a bow, but I definitely didn't dive in head first and decide I was going to start shooting a bow in January and try and kill an elk in September.
Yeah.
Um,
I knew it was going to be a pretty hard thing to do, but you know, I didn't want. I've always been very interested in the outdoors and getting out in the woods.
well, you work in the woods.
That's my job.
Yeah.
You know? So I spend a lot of time out here anyway. So I've always wanted to do more than just the road hunting, and I never really knew anybody that did it any other way. Even back in high school, that's just how everybody did it. It seemed.
Right.
And
Driving around with a Hams can. And,
right, yeah, running with the Keystone crew.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
who called them that.
I don't remember. I thought you did, but
No, someone else
you
called
get
them.
it from somewhere else.
Yeah, I forget.
I heard it somewhere.
I forget who deemed that the Keystone Crew.
I don't know.
It makes it. It's a sensible
sense,
thing.
yeah, definitely.
Are we part of the Keystone Crew right now?
Right now, for sure. Yeah, we're not road hunting though.
No, we're not hunting at all. We're just having a Keystone
Correct.
because you can get a 15-pack of Keystones for under $8.
Yeah. It's a hell of a deal.
It's the best deal on ice.
Yeah.
So,
The 15 pack is genius, by the way. Just got to throw that out there.
well, you figure if 3 guys are drinking, that's 5 beers apiece.
Right. Exactly.
And if 2 guys are drinking, you get to maybe lock arms and drink the last one together.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
You said you spent 6 years in the infantry.
That's true, but those times are in the past. Those are behind, putting those behind me now.
Yeah. So one thing I want to touch on is we were just up glassing every night. It's been so incredibly windy, like 30-mile-an-hour gusts of wind.
Very windy.
Stuff's falling out of trees everywhere. So we're trying to not be in the timber in the evening after I would say 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Like
the
5
wind starts
p.m. it
picking
just
up.
starts whipping.
Yeah, real bad.
We left camp today. We had to get Chantel was here for a day and a half. We had to get her off the mountain, and we had a bit of a low morale moment, and we decided we should go grab some pizza. Chris's wife and kids are over here, not with us in camp. They're camped elsewhere, riding.
Spending some time at the coast.
Yeah, spending time on the coast. And I was like, hey, man, well, why don't you see if the wife and kids want to go get some... Well, I guess the kids don't have a say. They're, 4 and 1?
Yeah, 4 in a year and a half.
So they don't have a choice.
Yep.
But see if the wife wants to get some pizza. We'll head over there. You can hang out, Maybe it'll boost our spirits a little bit. So we went and did that. We came back, and Chris's tent was in a bad way.
Poor shape.
We had
to
a
say the
garbage
least,
bag
yeah.
full of bottles and cans, and we spent at least 5 minutes picking
Well, it
up.
was full of bottles and cans when we left. When we returned, it was not full of bottles and cans.
Yeah, there was 2 bottles.
They were scattered about.
So anyways, we've been hiking out to this landing in this giant clear cut, and glassing in the evenings, trying to turn up these elk. or a buck, to put a stalk on in the evening with that heavy wind. You got pretty good opportunity at getting on some. So we're up there talking earlier, and I think we want to touch a little bit on going from military life to civilian life and how hunting has played a role in I guess you wouldn't call it a smooth transition, but giving you more of a purpose again?
Yeah. There's a lot of the...
I hate to say purpose, not saying you don't have a purpose, but however you were explaining it earlier, right?
Yeah, so, you spend time in the military, and you got a very important role in the military, and you feel like there's a purpose, right? You're doing your job, you're going out there fighting the good fight, whatever you're doing, and when you get home, you lose that group and that that feeling you get when you're a part of something that makes it can make it hard when you get back to the civilian life. Like I was telling you up there on the hill, I got back from Iraq in 2011, and I was drawing unemployment. I was looking for a job, and I had applied at the Fred Meyer gas station and got an interview with them and sat through the interview. It seemed like everything went well, and I never got a call back. And at that point, I hit this wall that was just like, man, I can't even get a job pumping gas. But I was just in Iraq for 9 months,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worth anything now. This is dumb.
Yeah.
So it was kind of rough. I was still in the military at the time, so I had that to hang on to, and then ended up catching another deployment in 2014. Got done with that one, decided I'd had enough. I had a family now. When I left for Afghanistan, my daughter was a week old.
Yeah.
And when I got back, she was walking. So that played a serious factor in my decision to get out. And once I got out, I didn't do it the right way. I didn't have a real plan. So transition was not necessarily ideal, rather rough. Just trying to find the next mission, and I stumbled across hunting, and it piqued my interest.
Yeah.
And I decided to dive into it, and now it's kind of given me that purpose back, I think. And
giving you something to spend your paychecks on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You got to have that.
Yeah.
I was telling you the other night, I think I've got probably a year's worth of paychecks spent in gear I want. So
yeah.
I don't know. The transition, like I was saying, it can be pretty rough. But fortunately, I found this, and that's helped a lot. Being able to set goals like this, and then being able to, work towards them, gives you drive every day. You get up, you're not just doing the same thing, doing the 9 to 5, or for me, it's more of a 3 to 3. So it really helped me a lot, put purpose back in my life, and giving me goals, setting goals for myself again. And that's what we're out here doing right now, is knocking off those goals.
Yeah, trying. So is that, you think that the goal-oriented, I guess you would call it structure in the military, is that, I guess do they pump that into you to set goals for yourself?
They do. Yeah, there's some counseling that you do, where they try and get you to come up with a 5-year goal and a 10-year goal. And, at least for me and probably a lot of guys, we just kind of bullshitted our way through that and
sure
told them what they wanted to hear, and, I'll figure it out when I get there. And it may work for some, but it didn't necessarily work for me.
Right at the time, you probably don't realize how important it was to set a legitimate goal. And I always think to myself, because I read a lot of, it's cold up here, and that's why you're hearing all this sniveling. So anyways, I apologize for that, but I read a lot of these books. They're not really self-help books or anything, just, helping you with the mental game of things and business books and stuff like that, because who knows what I'm doing at any given time. And a lot of them are always talking about goals. And I think a lot of us set a goal of like, oh, well, I'm 23 now. By the time I'm 25, I want to make $60,000 a year. That's my goal. Well, it's not a goal, right? I mean, it is. It's a long-term goal.
Sure.
But in order to so I'm reading these books and they're saying, in order to reach a long-term goal, you've got to say that's 2 years out. Well, now you need a 1-year goal. And then you need, a 6-month goal. And then you need a goal for every month in between that, and week goals, and just a daily goal. Who is it? The make your bed guy?
Oh, yeah, man, I can't
It's some
remember his
general,
name.
right?
Yeah.
Marine
he was
general?
a SEAL, I
SEAL?
believe. Yeah.
And just, that's a goal, right? Like every morning, get up. Is it a goal or I guess it could be a goal to do that every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just I don't know if
but I think it's more of a metaphor, right?
Yeah,
it's not literally like get up and make your bed.
Right, it's about the discipline.
It could be something like to me, making your bed is getting to the gym.
Right. Whatever your thing is for making the bed, you don't necessarily have to get up and make your bed.
Or shooting one arrow a day. Like you get home and it's dark, but you throw a headlamp on and shoot one arrow.
Right.
And so anything like that, I mean, I'm not trying to, it's not a self-help podcast, but
yeah.
It's just, I think that's a point that I never really think about with hunting is setting goals, but maybe that's something I need to start doing a little more.
I've never been much of a goal setter myself. And it like I said, I just stumbled across this one and I set this goal, and there wasn't anything that was going to keep me from at least attempting to meet this goal.
What is the goal?
Getting out here, experiencing this, you know. That experience we had yesterday morning was everything and more that I'd hoped for with this, and it was absolutely incredible, and that's why I set that goal, is I wanted to experience it. You can hear the stories, you can watch the YouTube videos, you can listen to the podcast, but until you get out here, I mean, look up at the stars, spend some nights out in the woods and go chase elk early in the morning in the fog and beat in the brush and listen to them bugle and piss all over themselves. It was it was pretty neat, man. Yeah,
I told Chris that I was thinking when I get home, I'm going to blow through the front door. I'm just going to scream, "Woman!" And then I'm going to be naked, of course, cuz that's how every good thing starts. Well, I don't know if every good thing starts off that way. Anyways, I think maybe I'm getting TMI.
It might be
a
stretch.
I might be getting into the too much information category. Anyways, I'm going to start peeing on myself and see what the lady has to say about it. I'm going to set that goal for myself. There's my goal. My week-long goal is to
Boy, that was a transition.
That's my goal now.
Oh man.
Go home, scream, and pee on myself.
Good luck with that one. I wish you the best, sir.
I'm trying to figure out the easiest, if it's going to be easier to pee on myself laying down.
Maybe it's the order. Maybe you got to pee on yourself first and then scream.
Or simultaneous.
Or you could do them both at the same time. Scream then pee. Which, I mean, what do you do?
Pee's a conspiracy.
It's conspiracy, man.
So, along with the transition stuff that we got into, you were just telling me, I don't know if you've told anyone about the plan here, but go into what you were telling me about I guess it's not really a brand that you're looking for.
No, I don't know what it is.
I would call it like almost like a blog type.
Yeah.
But like a picture blog? Is there such thing as a plog?
I don't know.
Instagram's a plog.
You may just started it.
If Instagram had no words, it would be a plog, right?
A plog.
Can we coin that?
Yeah.
Sure. We also... Oh, we can't tell anybody about our new business. Yeah. You guys will hear about it soon. But tell them a little bit about what you're thinking of doing with your plog. Well, I guess it would be videos and pictures and some blogs all together in one.
Yeah.
And maybe some some stickers?
Just some content, I think, in general.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. I'm not quite sure. This is just something I thought about, and it ties right in with that transition thing we were just talking about, and the fact that I found bow hunting, and it's really helped me, and I want to be able to share, my passion with it now, and my background, and the transition I made from my background to what I'm doing now, and how that's helped. If I could find a way to, make that visible to other people, show them that this is a possible route for your next mission, that's kind of the goal there.
Right, because you said that was a lot of the trouble for you, was that you always had a mission, right?
We always had a mission, and then when that's over, you don't anymore. It's all you, it's on you to find the next mission, and a lot of guys struggle with that. They'll pick up the bottle, or they'll pick up whatever it is, and kind of just struggle through it, and without finding that next mission, it's really hard. So I found mine, and my goal is to try and help. We were talking earlier, if I could help 1 out of 50 or 1 out of 10
or 1 out of 1,000,
one
person,
whatever it is, that would be more than enough. That would be awesome. So I'd like to be able to document what I'm doing, just the way things went down with me in finding this, and then maybe it can help somebody out there that might not have that next mission yet, and it might pique their interest, and they might be able to pick up this mission too.
Right. And the skill sets, they're not spot on the same, but I feel like there's a lot of similarities, right? There's a big movement in hunting right now for the fitness side of things, and we were just talking about how we're both very pleased with the fact that, we're putting on all these miles in steep, nasty country and
feeling good.
Yeah. Able to do it every day, knock back some stones at night.
Yeah.
And so, you guys PT'd every day?
Every day, yeah. Well, see, now I was National Guard, so
right,
weekend warrior type deal.
Sure.
I just happened to catch 2 deployments in the 6 years I was in.
Yeah.
But that it doesn't necessarily just pertain to National Guard guys. Active duty guys, they PT every day.
Sure. And I guess it could apply to, retired cops or firefighters or
anything. Fill in the blank.
Yeah. So with that, I guess where I'm going with it is a lot of the skill sets that you were given in the military cross over into this activity, whether it's hunting with a rifle, duck hunting with a shotgun, whatever. You're trying to stay in shape with an end goal, your specified training, right?
Yeah.
You've got all of these things that you're doing. You're shooting year round. You're doing all these things that were a way of life for people, and now you're saying so like take an active duty guy for instance that every morning he's up at say 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I don't know. I have no military background, but say he's up every day at a certain time, and he goes and gets chow, goes and PTs, then he goes to train, and then he studies, and then he trains again, and then he goes to bed. All the while with the end goal of, I'm going to have a deployment and I'm going to have to, fight.
Right.
And that's the goal. So now you've kind of taken the same stance on you. You work hard, man. I see all your stuff on Instagram and whatever. You're running constantly. Do warrior workouts?
I got on a little CrossFit binge there for a little while.
Yeah. So you're running all the time. You're working out. You're shooting your bow. Dude, you have like 8 million hours of podcasts that you listen to. You're just absorbing everything you can as far as content goes. All with, what you're calling your mission now.
Right.
Which is harvesting animals with your bow.
Yeah.
And so you think a lot of that has to do with that you have something to train for? Is that kind of helping you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, we're always kind of working towards that next deployment, or that next op. There's that owl again.
Is that an owl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that same one that was over here last night. Sorry. Anyway.
He's a noisy little bastard.
Yeah, he is. Obnoxious. But you're always training and getting ready for that next deployment, you know. And pretty soon that next deployment's not coming anymore. You're done. You're getting out, you know. And so yeah, you try and that's kind of, yeah, you hit it right on the head. That's the goal. You're working every day to make yourself better for end-to-end mission, you know.
Right. And obviously it's not life or death out here.
No.
But it's the same thing. I mean, even just like...
Unless you're going through the bear tunnel.
Yeah, we did go through a bear tunnel.
Yeah.
That was pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
But you're just saying, like, it's not life or death, but even with just getting a job, right? Like, back to the job thing, not to, you know, touch on that again. Well, we are going to touch on that, so I don't know why I'm saying not to. But back to the job thing, like, even just that, right? Like, you have structure, right? The military is all built on structure.
Yep.
So is it just adding structure back to your life?
I think so. Yeah, I think that plays a big role.
We're not preaching about everybody, you know, who's a veteran that's lost needs to go hunting, but it's definitely an avenue to go down.
I would definitely take a look at it, though. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of big differences too.
Sure.
There's a lot more things in this that you got to pay attention to that really just don't matter when you're out playing in the woods with guns. You know.
Well, for one, the elk aren't shooting back.
Right. Yeah.
So, and we're not, you know, I mean, we are looking out for each other, but it's not anywhere in the same ballpark. Nowhere near the same. But I just think the main basis of what you're getting at, and not to cut you off and tell you what you're saying, but my gist of, because we've been talking about this for a couple days now. I mean, like, here and there. So my gist of it is that's it. That the goal oriented, getting the drive back, working towards something, excuse me, has really helped you out of, I mean, not a pickle, I wouldn't call it, but
yeah, I'd say a pickle.
A pickle?
Yeah, it was getting pretty rough there for a little while.
Yeah. So that's just kind of helped you through it. And it's something that you and the wife do together. You guys,
yeah.
I see you at the range.
Yeah, it's brought us closer, definitely.
Pushing the kids around in the stroller on the
range. The
range.
one in the stroller. The other one's got a little bow of her own that she'll plink at the little hay bale set up at the range.
She's got a unicorn
yeah.
that she likes to show me when we're at the range. Tell me that her unicorn? Or no, it's like a little bear thing?
I don't know. She's got some...
It makes a bunch of noise.
Well, most of her toys make a bunch of noise.
You gotta take the batteries out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's just one of those things, man. And you know, if any of you guys, if anybody, I mean, I don't know, I don't have a ton of listeners, but if anybody out there is dealing with similar to the same thing, hit me up, send me a message, and I'll hook you up with Chris. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to chat with you and
absolutely
give you his, you know, a little more in-depth conversation on kind of, you know, help you through a rough patch.
I'm just kind of, you know, dipping my feet into this even. You know, I'm not experienced at all at this. I just found this, and it's something I really enjoy so far. And so, yeah, if there's anybody that, you know, wants to maybe get started in this, for sure. Or
I mean, just needs to
check it out, talk about it, or...
Talk about anything, yeah?
Yeah.
Someone that, you know, can relate to you, because a lot of people, I think they just have trouble. And like I said, I'm not trying to preach it. You know, I don't know anything about the military, really. But I think guys sometimes just have trouble talking to somebody that doesn't share similar experiences.
For sure. Yeah.
If you can't relate to something, you're like, oh, yeah, man, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
You know, but I understand why it is a big deal. Just somebody moving from one, you know, state to another state and not really knowing what's going on, like, that's a big deal for a lot of people.
Right.
You know, so it's pretty crazy transition, and it really sucks the kind of spots that you know, guys and girls like you get put in when you come back home from stuff like that. But have you always been crazy about fitness, or did that start when you got into the bow hunting thing?
You know, that's.
Didn't you say you were a chunkster before that?
No, I've never really been fat. I've always been blessed and skinny.
Dad bod?
No, I never really had a dad bod. Not yet.
I'm talking like skinny arms and a semi-gut.
Yeah, I've been there.
That's what I consider like
okay.
What do we call it? Like a video gamer's body?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You have jacked fucking thumbs. Oops, dropped the F-bomb. I think that might be the first one.
You just talk about my thumbs?
Yeah, I'm saying you might have had jacked thumbs when you were playing a lot of video games. Your thumbs were muscular.
Yeah.
And skinny arms.
Skinny arms. I got that for sure.
Skinny legs.
Yeah.
And then I'm a flat, semi-sunken chest and a little bit of a gut. Not a soft gut, like a hard gut that says I drink a little bit of beer and play video games. Did you have that dad bod? That's what I consider the dad bod.
I've currently got that, yeah. Yeah, you nailed it.
So,
that's it.
But did you always exercise a lot? Or is it just kind of when you got into bow hunting?
No, yeah, it's been recent. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I've always been working out. I've always hated the gym, to be honest.
Yeah, the gym sucks.
It's always a struggle for me, trying to find that self-discipline to get out there and get some done. And I've been a little bit off of the train lately. But, we were talking about this the other day. This is what we train for. It's
sure.
like touching on that train to hunt deal.
Yeah.
You do that to train to hunt.
Yeah.
So it's important.
That's what it's called.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it's for. So at the same time, it's like, I may not be hitting the gym, but we're out here logging 7.5 miles a day.
8 mile, yeah. Whatever we're doing. 8 mile.
Yeah, sure.
It was a name drop, movie drop.
Oh, yeah. I missed it. Flew right over the head.
Sorry. Yeah, that's interesting because I was a chunk sickle when I started working on the boo lance. Like my first year on the ambulance, I think I gained probably 20 pounds.
Were you?
Yeah.
A lot of gas station stops?
Night shift.
Oh, yeah.
Gas station food.
That'll do it.
But now that I'm eating these healthy...
Tornadoes are good, though, aren't they?
Man.
Yeah.
What are they, jalapeno and cream cheese?
Ooh.
Those things are off the chain, dude.
Yeah.
Or pepper jack.
Pepper jack's
I think it's pepper jack. Those ones are
Solid
pretty
choice.
good.
Yep.
I don't like the pepperoni ones.
No?
Nah. I don't like pepperoni Hot Pockets either.
Anything that's deep fried, I'm down.
Yeah. I don't know about anything, man. I do like jalapeno poppers.
Yeah. Oh.
The ones from that Chevron on Diamond Lake Boulevard.
I never had those.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, you're missing
the Chevron there in Myrtle Creek.
Oh, Freeway Chevron. Yeah, they have good jalapeno poppers.
Ones.
So.
Yeah.
In case you guys are interested in some jalapeno poppers or gizzards, you can hit up the Freeway Chevron.
Yeah, 103.
Yeah, 103 exit, I-5, Oregon. So, that being said, what are the... let's dive into this. I'm going to go... Should we make it easy or difficult? This question.
We got to go difficult.
Okay. 5 things.
Oh, boy.
5 things you didn't... I don't know how to phrase this. I'm going on the side of like... Did you think this was going to be easy when you started bow hunting? Like, did you think it was going to be an easy thing? Like pretty simple, like you'd kind of stroll along for a couple days and then you'd shoot something with an arrow?
No, I wouldn't say I was that ignorant.
Okay, so what are the 5 things that you thought were going to be easy, but are actually pretty freaking difficult? 5 things.
5.
You said you wanted it hard. The easy way was 3. Let's do the easy way.
Okay, let's do the easy way.
3 things that you never expected to be as hard as they are when it comes to hunting.
First, I would say is just the skill of archery.
Yeah.
Like, that's much more difficult than what it's made out to be. You can't just stand there and shoot. Oh, I mean, I guess you could stand there and just shoot an arrow. But
I think there's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
Like they never actually learn anything
to
about...
do it a good way, though, I think there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, you got to look at your whole setup. Mm-hmm. You got to get your bow tuned. There's a lot of steps there that I had no idea about. When I first dove into this, I didn't know anything about bow tuning.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you needed to tune a bow.
Yeah.
You just bought it off the shelf, stuck an arrow in it, and then go stick that arrow in a target.
Yeah, I bought mine off Craigslist.
Really?
My first one? Yeah.
I think I did too.
I bought it was like a Hoyt that was like 3 years older than I am. And it was like one of those 40-inch axle-to-axle bows. Yeah. And I was dead. I shot fingers for a little while. It came with like 9 arrows. There were some aluminum, some carbon. I'm pretty sure they were underspined. It was like a 29.5 to 30-inch draw.
Yeah.
And I was shooting fingers with it.
Well, you knew more about it than I did with mine then, because I had no idea.
No, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know any of that until I bought a new bow.
I'm pretty sure I went to Walmart and just bought some of them cheap arrows, the singles.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
They used to sell that. I'm surprised I didn't blow an arrow up or something.
Yeah, I had no idea what spine was right or anything. I looked for the coolest one and bought it.
Yeah.
And yeah. So archery,
Right.
the art
The
of
skill-
archery,
the
the
skill
arch
of
of
ar-
archery.
Yeah, that thing.
Number 2,
I don't know if this is necessarily in order, but playing the wind is a lot more difficult than I figured it would be, and maybe it's just kind of the country we're in. I don't know if it's
Yeah, the
everywhere
wind-
that's like this, but it's constantly swirling on us up here, and it's been bad, but
I think it's everywhere.
yeah, probably.
And anything that you ever listen to.
Wind is definitely everywhere.
Well, I'm saying the swirling wind.
Yeah.
Douche. So I think it has to do with the fact that like anything you ever listen to on elk hunting, like the greats, right? You listen to like Corey
Yeah.
Jacobson, Dirk Durham,
Yep.
and Randy Newberg, and all those guys. They talk about thermals being a constant.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're at,
They haven't been.
they haven't been crap.
No.
We're like, oh, it's pushing up from the bottom now, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, it's not.
Yeah, it's been pretty unpredictable up
Mhm.
here for the most part. So managing the wind has definitely been a struggle for us
Sure,
in general. So that's 2.
that's 2. You
So I
only
need
have
one
one left.
more. All right. Oh, let's see here.
While you think about it, you want to know my hardest thing?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Maintaining a positive attitude.
I can buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I can go from like completely positive, thinking there's no way in the world that we're not going to kill something today, to I'm wasting my time. I should just throw my bow in the trash. Well, not in the trash because it's expensive, but
Yeah.
I'll sell my bow and pick up another hobby that, like an instant gratification hobby, like bicycling or something. Something you just like, you get on the bicycle and you just bicycle, right? Like, it's not like, oh, were you successful at bicycling today? Like, what you got on and you pedaled, so
Right.
so you successfully bicycled. You don't just successfully hunt by combing. Anyways, that's like a terrible analogy.
No,
but
I get it though.
yeah, there's
For
tons
sure.
of things like you constantly get better at, and there's never like a chance of failure. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You come to a stop sign or a stoplight on your bike, and you forget how your pedals click out. Your feet click out of your pedals because they have the special shoes.
Yeah, and then you fall over.
And then you fall over.
Look
So-
like an idiot.
Yeah, I think that's like the worst. So I would say mine is just the ups and downs of hunting.
The highest and highs and the lowest of lows, right?
Yeah, that's what
we
they
experienced that yesterday morning.
We did the highest of highs, and then instant like smack in the face
Right.
by the elk. And
I think that's part of it, though, man.
yeah, but
You
that's
gotta
definitely the hardest part for me.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything else is like autonomic. You practice all this stuff year round. Like I said, that was the first time I would say the first time I've drawn on an animal, and I haven't felt the urge to I haven't got really bad like buck fever, bull
Right.
fever, or whatever. Like, I just drew, and I was like thinking through the whole shot process, and I think it's because I put more arrows through my bow this year than I ever have
So
before.
you think it's because you've been training harder?
Yeah, just practicing all the time.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, you got that whatever they call it, muscle memory, but
Right.
I'm gonna say it's auto. I call it like an autopilot thing.
I think that's a pretty important thing to do. I mean, in the military, you train like you fight, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that definitely crosses right over into this. Try and get that heart rate up as much as you can and shoot some arrows. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're ever really going to be able to simulate it entirely,
No.
but you can definitely help
Yeah.
by jacking up your heart rate. Doing
Yeah.
some burpees and then shooting at 20 yards kneeling. Or
Man, I have such poor mobility that burpees just hurt me.
burpees hurt everyone, I'm pretty sure. They're not
Yeah.
fun.
No.
Not fun.
Do you have a number 3, or would that play into your number 3?
I think that's got to be it too, man.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it there.
Yeah, that's definitely my is it the kryptonite? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Could be.
Or that's my Achilles heel.
Oh yeah.
I just have an issue with keeping my morale up. Like, no matter what I mean, especially hunting around here. Like, right now the bulls are quiet. We saw 2 bucks on the first day,
Right.
and since then we've seen does. We jumped a cow. We haven't heard another bugle. So it's pretty hard to keep your there's this guy, he's an HR specialist on these wildfires that I go on. And he talks all the time. He comes up in the morning, he grabs the microphone, he yells PMA into it, which is positive mental attitude. He yells that into it, and everybody chants PMA back to him. And it's hard for me to keep my PMA, I'm going to call it. The guy's name is Andrew. It's hard for me to keep my positive mental attitude up when you're kind of like, there's never a for sure. There's never a for sure anywhere you go that you're going to even see an elk, you're going to see a deer, you're going to do any of that. It's hard for me to keep a positive attitude and keep grinding.
And it's a super important thing to try and maintain, right? That can make or break a hunt, for sure.
Yeah, and just like I told you earlier, and I just started hunting with Chris this year. This is like our 5th day hunting together.
Yeah.
And we don't even hardly, I guess we know each other now, but the reason that I even started hunting with Chris, or even talked to him about hunting, I started the podcast? You started commenting on stuff? But I'd met you at the bow shoots in Myrtle Creek.
Our ladies knew each other.
Our ladies knew each other. Now they act like they don't like each other. I think
we're working on that.
We've decided, they'll probably get mad at us for this, but we've decided that it's kind of like if you date somebody, or no, not date somebody, you're friends with somebody? No, you date somebody, and like they have a friend. So like, one of our ladies is a third wheel, and we're trying to hook them up with the other lady. It's like an arranged friendship that we're trying to get going here.
It's basically like a blind date.
It's not a blind date.
Oh.
We're just gonna set them up.
Well, they know each other better than we know each other.
Yeah, but they're being girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're trying to set them up. I don't want to say hook them up. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
We're trying to set them up, and let's see. We're trying to. Oh, I can't say plant the seed either.
No, poor choice of words there on that one.
I'm the best at that. Yeah, we're gonna plant the seed and watch it grow.
Okay.
We're trying to create a friendship so they can work out together, shoot bows together. We also have a master plan. Should we let people in on our master plan?
I don't think it's a secret.
The best day to catch salmon in theory, we've decided, is the opening day of rifle deer season. So we are going, Chris and I, are going to go salmon fishing. Are we going to take 2 pickups? We should.
Yeah.
We'll take 2 pickups. We'll take my boat. We'll put the boat in the river, and we'll turn the ladies loose with our binoculars and rangefinders and spot and scopes. Your pickup.
Yep.
And probably my rifle. And like a drop chart. We're going to send the ladies on a hunting trip and force them into friendship.
And we're going to go fishing.
And we're going to go fishing. So they'll probably call us by the time we get our bait in the water.
You know what'll happen?
They'll kill a stud.
They'll both kill deer.
Well, Chantel has a bow tie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So Crystal will kill a deer.
Uh-huh.
And we won't catch any fish.
90% chance that's exactly. I'm awful at fishing.
Yeah, so am I.
But to me, unfortunately, I can't drink when I fish because I have to operate the boat. But I like going on other people's boats.
Well, yeah.
Because you can just drink. You can drink and fish while they operate the boat.
Right.
So, anyways, that's how. They don't know. Well, they do know. We told them.
We told them this afternoon.
Neither of them seem pleased. Also, you guys need to comment on this and tell them that it's a great idea because we are going to solicit a friend of mine whom is a cool female hunter. And we're going to have Chantel and Krista take over this podcast to fill you in on my lady friends. Well, Chantel's my lady friend. My friend whom is a female on her hunting season. We're gonna have a ladies takeover on the podcast.
Yeah.
And neither of them seem terribly excited about it.
Yeah, they'll work it out.
Yeah, they'll work it out.
Yeah.
We want them to also compete as a team. We're really we're like the dads that have the baseball dreams.
Yeah.
And we're
living
forcing
living
vicariously through them. So we're trying to create a friendship. And if they're listening, they'll probably be salty about this. But Krista doesn't listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Chantel hears my voice enough, so I don't know if she actually listens or not either.
It's okay.
But yeah, any like randomness you feel the need to speak on? Any of these crazy terms that we've coined throughout the week?
There's been a lot of them, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've described bugles in many different ways, and
we've had just 2 basic ones. Great Bugly Moogly, which I feel like needs either a t-shirt or at least somebody else to hashtag Great Bugly Moogly.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if you were the first person besides myself to hashtag Great Bugly Moogly, Great Bugle it's Bugle with a Y, Mugly, which is Bugly with an M instead of a B, I will give you something. I'm not sure what it is yet. I'm going to go with
firm handshake.
The new Brohike podcast hat.
Ooh.
If you were the first person after hearing this podcast, and I could tell by however many hours ago or whatever it's posted, on Instagram, if you at RBC_hunts, how should I do this? I think you should have to, go.
Yeah, it's got to tag you in.
You got to tag me at RBC_hunts, and you have to hashtag Great Bugly Moogly, however you want to say it, Great Bugly Moogly.
Yeah.
If you say it 3 times fast, an elk shows up.
Get you a sweet Brohike.
Get you a Brohike podcast hat.
Yeah.
And they're Richardson 112, so they're legit, with a leather patch on there. And you can get yourself one.
I'm definitely getting one.
Yeah, but you can't win because
Oh.
you're on the podcast.
Man.
So you're going to have to purchase.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you want one of the sweet hats, they're going to be $25, which I know sounds kind of expensive, but I'm trying to buy more hats, so whatever. If you want to look cool, buy one. If you listened this far, though, if there's one person, I guarantee you, if you're the one person that listened this far, you can win the hat.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat.
Just knock it out.
Yeah.
So bugles,
Oh yeah, and then what do we have? Faint Bugly Moogly?
Yeah, there's another one.
What do we call it?
The throaty one over there.
Oh gosh, that's bad. Cover your kids' ears. But last night, we're all
It's a poor choice of words, all right? I stated that after the fact.
We're sitting around camp, and we keep hearing this bull bugle way off in the distance. It's either a rooster or a bull. We've been fooled twice this year. Once by a rooster and once by a donkey.
Yeah.
The donkey had us going.
He
was
did.
chuckling, but just like,
Yeah, it was a legitimate chuckle and then ended with a hee-haw.
Oh, those burros. Anyways, we're sitting here last night, and Chris stops everybody as we're talking and points off in the distance, and he's like, "You guys hear that bugle?" I'm like, No, I didn't hear it. He's like, "Oh man, it was a deep throaty one." I'm like, "Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you should."
Instantly, I was like, you ever been, saying something and been like reaching out in the air trying to grab your words and put them back in your mouth? Yeah, that's what I was doing. It was poor choice of words.
So you were trying to put deep throaty right back in your mouth?
No, that's not what I said.
You're digging a hole, man. You're digging are you digging a foxhole or a ranger grave?
Oh boy. How about just a regular grave?
Yeah.
6 foot deep?
Okay.
Yeah.
You would still be 2 inches over the top if you didn't dig it wide enough.
Well, yeah.
So
I don't think they bury people standing up.
They could.
Yeah.
It'd be, if you think about it, if a cemetery was done that way, there would be a lot more room for people in the cemetery.
Yeah.
Right? Like all the headstones could be way closer together.
Boy, this took a turn.
Well, I'm just saying also, have you walked through a cemetery before, like around the headstones and stuff?
Yeah.
Do you feel super awkward?
Yeah, because you always feel like you're stepping on people.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. If you walk super close to the back of the headstones, I feel like nobody's that tall.
Yeah.
Like between headstones. But
right, but it's like a standard size they dig out, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're not actually standing on anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've gotten far off the deep end.
Boy, we have.
Huh. Speaking of bugles, I think I just heard a rooster.
Did you?
Or a bugle.
Or a donkey.
Or a donkey.
Could have been a donkey.
So I think we're running out. Are we running out of things to talk about?
Boy, I don't know.
Are we trying to create things to talk about? We've just kind of been rolling.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else is on the list for this year? What hunts you got?
Oh, man, we got a pretty good season coming up here. We got Well, this hunt here, we'll knock
Can't
out...
give away the units.
No. We'll knock out the rest of this. And then got some general season stuff coming up for Krista. She's going to knock out some general rifle. We're fortunate enough to both draw doe tags this year.
Mm-hmm.
Going to go after a couple of them.
We have the same ones.
Yep. And then Krista's got her rifle elk tag.
Mm-hmm.
Going to go after that. And then we're going to, I guess, hit late season deer.
Yeah,
We don't
late
harvest
deer.
one before then. And
which Chris learned about yesterday.
yeah.
He bought the deer tag, and I'd been telling him, like, yeah, man, I'm definitely down to capitalize on an opportunity if one arises for a nice buck. But I just have trouble chasing deer predominantly during elk season.
Right.
I think that kind of confused you. You're like, well, you got a tag for it.
Yeah.
But
Like,
the tags in Oregon, you buy a general archery tag, and it's good during the same exact times as elk season. And then a week after rifle deer season ends, there's normally like 2.5 weeks of late archery blacktail season west of the Cascades.
Yeah.
Most of the units are open.
It'll be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's like my all-time favorite. That's why I
Yeah.
can't get too fired up about chasing deer in the early season.
Right.
It makes it pretty tough.
So yeah, we'll do some of that.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
I still got a couple black bears to harvest this year.
Yeah, you
hopefully.
do. We need to find you a bear.
So we'll get on that.
We'll definitely be doing that.
And that'll wrap it up for this year, I think. And
Yeah. Oh,
got-
you said you're gonna duck hunt with me.
yeah, I'd love to do that. I've always wanted to do that. So we'll definitely have to get in on some of that.
Yeah, we will be doing that. I've got the new puppy coming, which that thing won't be going duck hunting.
It'd be
With
pretty
us.
cool though.
No, next year that
Right.
dog will go.
Right.
Yeah, it's got a beard.
Yeah.
And a
Chantel
mustache.
showed me a picture of that. It was pretty cool.
Mhm.
I asked her if you could groom it into whatever you wanted it to be. You know, get you your little
Mustache
twisty
wax?
mustache
Yeah.
going on.
Like mine right now?
She said it doesn't grow back though.
My
If you-
mustache?
no. Well, yours might not either, but the dogs, apparently you trim it off and it doesn't grow back.
Oh, yeah, we're not trimming it.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I was
yeah,
just asking for,
No. Asking
know.
for a friend.
yeah, in case there's somebody that wants to trim their dog's mustache, I guess.
Of a wire hair pointer. Ours is called a Deutsch Drahthaar. If anybody that's listening to this knows...
How to spell it?
No, I know how to spell it.
Okay.
It's DEUTSCH space DRA, I want to say THAAR
Okay.
or HTAAR. One
Yeah.
of the two. I'm close. Anyways, if any of you know a ton about, they call them draughts. If you guys know a lot about draughts, definitely hit me up because I'd love to have a phone conversation with you and find out what I'm getting myself into. Chantel won this puppy at Ladies Hunting Camp. She's the luckiest human in the world. Bought a $5 ticket, won a dog. So we're pretty excited about that. But I think if you don't have anything else you want to touch on, we're going to wrap this up and go to bed so we can chase bugles in the AM.
Okay. Sounds good.
Is that good?
Yeah,
We'll have to do another one sometime soon.
for sure.
If people are interested in looking up your feed, if you want to see basically a guy that posts how far he ran each day and hashtag suck it up buttercup all the time, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram.
Yeah, on the plug.
Plug. Yeah. I'll figure
What,
that out.
Chris?
Chris.Almendinger.
Yeah, spell that for the folks.
CHRIS.
Period. Period.
Right. ALLMENDINGER.
Yeah, the end of your name is like hitting a home run.
It is?
Yeah, hitting dingers.
Oh boy.
That's what they call it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always said that nobody could say something about my name I haven't already heard, but I think you just did.
Hitting dingers, that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
well,
Dropping bombs.
we'll go with that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, peeps, thanks for listening to the Brohike podcast. What was it that we were saying?
The Brohike.
The Brohike
The
podcast.
Brohike podcast.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Brohike podcast, which maybe we'll call the Brohike podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. Till next time. See y'all later. Hello, people. Thank you for listening to that episode. Hope you found something interesting in it. We're kind of gearing that direction with it being hunting season, that a lot of these podcasts are going to be stories and BS sessions maybe involve a couple too many beers and your occasional F-bomb. As far as the Nature's Paint giveaway goes, that is going to Gavin. I hope I don't butcher this. Gavin Pow. That's what I'm going with. Pow. P-A-U. Gavin, you won the Nature's Paint. On Instagram, he's Southern_Leafer_official. And he is the winner of the Nature's Paint giveaway. So, Gavin, shoot me a direct message on Instagram, and I will get your shipping information and send you that stuff. So, that's pretty neat. Also, we're doing the giveaway for one of the hats. So, after this podcast launches, like I said, first person, which is ridiculous. Maybe we were drinking. Maybe it was Memphis. I don't know. First person to hashtag a photo from their hunt, their elk hunt this year, with hashtag Great Bugly Mugly, which I don't really know where I came up with that from, but I've been tagging all my elk hunting pictures like that. Anyways, first person to do that, I will send you a hat. I just got them in. Otherwise, if you don't win and you're interested, $25 a piece, super short supply. Once these are gone, it's going to be about 3 weeks out. So I've sold a few. I've got, I think, 6 or 7 left. They're $25. If you're local-ish, we can do a drop-off. Otherwise, it'll be a couple bucks for shipping on top of that. So, all right, guys. Thank you for listening. Hopefully be getting some more episodes out on a regular basis. I got one more fire it looks like I'm going on, so I'll be gone for another 2 weeks. I'm going to record a podcast to auto-upload during that time, so you won't be without one on your drives to hunting camp. Otherwise, good luck. Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys will continue to listen. Have great success during this hunting season. And if you have any questions or anything, do let me know. Other than that, follow and comment and give me reviews because it helps the podcast out. All right? Thanks, guys.